we'll be starting with Limitation Act today, the law of limitation. Now this this subject will take about 10 hours, say 5 classes. Uh, Today is a 1 hour session, so we'll have to exceed 1 day, but mostly 5 days. In 5 days, we'll aim to cover this. If at all a day more is required, we'll put that into it. Now, see, what is the weightage of Limitation Act in judicial services examinations? See, for Delhi, Haryana, and Punjab, uh, the questions that you get in prelims and even in mains are mostly applied based, meaning they'll give a scenario and you will have to decide whether the suit is barred by limitation or the application is barred by limitation or delay continuation application will be applicable. So in this case, you'll have to be thorough with all the case laws. Fine. You'll have to be thorough with all the case laws. Now, for other states, the approach is basically theoretical. Fine. They basically ask you what are exclusion, what are exceptions, what is the concept of period of limitation, what is prescribed period, and in what cases the exclusions will be applicable. These are the primary questions that are sought for in these states, and the approach towards applied questions is very less. Now, what are the sources? What all we'll be referring to? See, I say Bare Act is sufficient. Fine. But certain areas require interpretation. For those, I'll be giving you, you'll have to write certain cases. I'll be giving you those cases. And third, if at all you require, uh, my classes will be sufficient. It will cover it, they will be exhaustive mostly. But if at all you require some extra assistance, you can refer to this book by JD Jain. Fine. Now, let us start with the geography of the act. As in, how is this act divided? So this act is divided into two parts. The first part is sections. It has around, yeah, yes,
So,
yes, yeah,
you said that for Delhi, Haryana, and all, like, case laws are very important.
yeah, certainly.
These case laws, are there a number of specific case laws that we should know, or it's like very.
Uh, no, mostly you will have to know all the landmark case laws. I'll be giving you all the landmark case laws which have developed the law of limitation to an extent. You will have to refer them.
Okay, sir.
Fine. And other, as in you can refer to live law for all the latest updates. But mostly I suggest that don't get too deep into it. Uh, Rely on the latest case laws. They have covered everything, almost everything. Even I'll be giving you some latest case laws relating to certain areas. Okay? Should I proceed?
Yes, sir.
Now, see, what is the geography of the act? The act as a whole is divided into two parts. The first area is sections. Now, it has around 32 sections, out of which two are repealed. One is section 28 is repealed, and section 32 itself is repealed. Fine. So, in total, it has around 30 sections. And then comes the schedule. Now, schedule is divided into three parts. One is schedule basically provides for the period of limitation. It says what will be the period of limitation for so and so cases. So in every case, the period of limitation differs. So the schedule is divided into three parts. One is suit, second is appeal, and the third is application. Fine. Now, if you read section 2J, do you guys have the Bare Act along with you?
No, sir.
Okay, I'll read for you.
Yes, sir, I have.
Okay. See, section 2J defines period of limitation. So it says that, see, period of limitation is the period prescribed for any suit, appeal, or application by the schedule. So schedule basically provides you the period of limitation. Fine. So what is limitation period ultimately? That is the question. So limitation period is nothing, it is the time specified within which you will have to file, within which you will have to file suit, application, or appeal. Application or appeal. So far it's clear. Are you guys thorough uh, uh, with the geography of the act?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Now see, uh, the important aspects of the acts are. This is only an introductory part. I'll be dwelling into the details of everything. I'm just making you familiar with all the aspects of the act. Now, see, act is designed in such a manner that first you will have in section 3. If you guys refer to section 3, section 3 provides for the bar of limitation. It says that any suit, appeal, or application that is filed after the period of limitation shall be dismissed. So it provides the bar of limitation. It says, see, suit, application, or appeal which has to be instituted after the limitation period has to be dismissed. And it uses the word shall. So it's not even discretionary, it is a mandatory provision. I'll read section 3. Are you guys on section 3?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So it says that, see, subject to the provision contained in section 4 to 24, suit instituted, appeal preferred, application made after the prescribed period shall be dismissed. So it uses the word shall. It shall be dismissed. And further, it also says that although the limitation has not been set up a defense, even if the defendant does not plead limitation period, then also it has to be dismissed. भले defendant limitation plead भी नहीं करता तो भी it is the duty of the court to dismiss the suit or suit, appeal, or application that has been instituted after the period of limitation. That is the general principle, that is which has been provided in section 3. Now you will have to balance all the rights. So the act as a whole balances all the rights. So first, section 4 to 11, they provides for certain exceptions. In such cases, even if the suit is filed after the period of limitation, then the said filing, suit, appeal, or application is filed after the period of limitation, then the said suit, application, or appeal will be allowed. Okay? So these are certain exceptions. Clear है ये?
Yes, sir.
इन एक्सेप्शंस में अगर सूट पीरियड ऑफ लिमिटेशन के बाद भी फाइल होता है देन ऑल्सो इट इज अलाउड. ठीक है, इसके लिए जो जनरल प्रिंसिपल है
Sir, the screen is stuck, I guess.
Sorry about the start. No article.
There's no audio. Period is also gone.
Hello. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
sir.
Now you are.
What happened? Everything got disconnected. Should I? Where was I?
Sir, we were discussing exception.
We were discussing.
4
Section
to
4.
11 provides for exception. where
Okay. I'll start with exceptions again. Fine.
Yes.
So, see, it is divided into two. First, the declaration is provided in section 3. Section 3 बोलता है कि whatever suit, appeal, or application that you are making after the period of limitation has to be dismissed. So this is a declaration. Fine. Now the problem is there may be circumstances wherein there are genuine grounds for not filing the appeal, suit, or application within the period of limitation. For those grounds, they have provided certain exceptions. They are like which have been provided in 4 to 11. Now, the act is like this is an exception to section 3. 4 to 11 are exception to the main declaration. So in these cases, even if the suit, appeal or application is filed after the period of limitation, it is allowed. Clear hai so far?
But is it mandatorily allowed or is it the discretion of judge?
Depends upon exception to exception. In certain cases, it is discretion. In certain cases, it is mandatory. For example, in delay condonation, which is provided in section 5, the court has a double discretion. When we get there, I'll explain you what exactly the double discretion means. And in section 6, the period of reckoning does not start itself. So it differs from section to section. Clear hai?
Yes, sir.
Please, okay, Pawan Kumar says, sir, would you repeat section 4? Okay. See, इतना कुछ नहीं है इसमें क्या है? Section 3. Section 3 provides for the declaration. Section 3 बोलता है कि see, any suit, appeal or application जो आप period of limitation के बात कर रहे हो, that has to be dismissed. Limitation Act as a whole provides for certain exceptions to this general rule. Those exceptions have been provided in section 4 to 11. अब ठीक है? I will explain what exactly section 4 is, what is section 5, section 6. But as a whole, these sections are exceptions. Clear? Now, the third limb of the act is exclusions. Now, this is an interesting part. Now, exclusions are provided in section 12 to 24. Fine. Now, what exactly exclusion means? Now, for instance, what can happen? There may be a case there is this fellow. He has a suit to file in Delhi court. And in by mistake, he files this suit in Gurgaon. Fine. And the period of limitation for filing the suit is say 3 years. Contract case, and it is a period of limitation is 3 years. And he files a suit in Gurgaon court, and he was supposed to file in Delhi. Now this fellow is prosecuting this case for about 4 years in say Gurgaon court. Now limitation period to chala gaya. So the act says, section 14 of the act says, which is an exclusion. Section 14 says that this period in which he has been prosecuting in wrong court will be excluded. Means this period will be excluded from here and it will be added further here. And the prescribed period will be extended. ठीक है? For instance, he has been prosecuting this case for 2 years. So this 2 years will be excluded from this period and it will be added here. So this is known as exclusion. Fine.
Yes, sir.
Now, there may be a situation that, for example, there is this fellow, he wants to file an appeal. He lost a civil suit. Say in Bombay High Court. And he wishes to file an appeal to Supreme Court, say SLP. So normal appeal, civil appeal. He wishes to file a civil appeal before the Supreme Court. Now what happens? He files an application here for obtaining the copy of the decree. Okay? Now it takes a lot of time. For example, they did not provide him with the degree and the limitation period was exhausted. And somewhere here he got the decree. Now section 12. Section 12 of the Limitation Act says that this period will be excluded and he will get, and ultimately the prescribed period will be extended. क्लियर है ये?
So can you explain once again?
Okay. For instance, there is this fellow. He wishes to file an appeal, civil appeal, before the Supreme Court. And now he has lost his case in the Bombay High Court. तो जब भी आप अपील फाइल करते हो तो आपको डिक्री की कॉपी तो चाहिए ही ना, ऑब्वियसली. What else you are challenging? You are challenging the decree, so you need the copy of the decree. So this fellow applies for the period of filing the appeal is say 90 days. ठीक है? The period for filing the appeal is 90 days. Now, somewhere here after 30 days, he applies for the copy of the decree here somewhere. Fine. Now this clerk, he takes a lot of time to make the decree. Ideally, the act says that it has to be Order 20 Rule 6A, I suppose. It says that it has to be made within 60 days or so. But this fellow takes a lot of time. And the period is extinguished. Now, section 12.2 precisely of Limitation Act says that this period will be excluded and it will be added here further. Fine. So accordingly, the prescribed period is extended. Clear hai?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, see, that is what the concept is. The entire act revolves around these three aspects. One is the declaratory provision, which is provided in section 3, and the second is second aspect is of exceptions, which is provided in section 4 to 11, and the third aspect is of exclusions, which is provided into 12 to 24. पूरा एक्ट इन तीन चीजों के बारे में ही रिवॉल्व करेगा. ठीक है? Now, the act has two facets.
Sir, am I audible?
Yeah, you are.
Yes, sir. So I have a doubt, sir. So when we say about the exclusion, we essentially mean that the period of limitation is extended, right? So we can even file after the period of limitation, sir. So is there any maximum limit as to how much time we can like put in the exclusion? So suppose if the time to obtain decree is like 1 year or like any number of years, so can we like add any number of years, or is there certain limit even to the exclusion which can be like added?
There is no limit to the exclusion. I mean, how much time, for example, he has been prosecuting for 4 years in the wrong court. So those 4 years will be excluded. If the time for obtaining the decree after the application takes about 1 year, 1 year will be excluded. There is no limit to it.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
No problem. Now see, there are two facets to the entire law of limitations. The first facet is okay. There are two facets to it. The first is see, by imposing limitation, what are we doing? By imposing limitation, what are we essentially doing? We are restricting rights. We are restricting the right of an applicant, plaintiff, or an appellant. So you are restricting a right. आप एक right को रोक रहे हो. Fine.
Sir, sorry to interrupt, but are we like restricting right or right to enforce?
You are restricting the right, but extinguishment की तो बात ही नहीं की मैंने बोला restrict. मैंने elimination की बात नहीं की है अभी तक. I haven't reached that area. You are restricting a right. You are not. I didn't say you are extinguishing a right.
Okay, sir.
You are understanding the difference. I'll explain you what exactly it means. Okay. So by imposing limitation, आप एक right को रोक रहे हो. You are restricting a right. Now, the same limitation to balance the interest provides for exceptions and exclusions, so that justice is done. ठीक है? So there is in this act the basis of the act is balancing of interest of both the parties. Clear है? ठीक है? Now, on what policy it is based? See, ultimately, the one policy is to prevent unnecessary delay. पहला है कि unnecessary delay को prevent करना है. This is the first aspect of the Limitation Act. The second is to put an end to the chance of litigation. खत्म तो करोगे ना, मतलब कब तक चलता रहेगा? एक एंजाइटी क्रिएट हो जाती है डिफेंडेंट के माइंड में कि ओ नाउ ही विल फाइल अ सूट, ही विल बी एवर प्रिपेयर्ड. सो टू पुट एन एंड टू अ चांस ऑफ लिटिगेशन. ठीक है? नाउ why do we have to put an end to a chance of litigation? Why do we have to prevent unnecessary delay? Why? What is the logic behind it? Guys, you guys can answer.
Sir, reduce the burden of the court.
Yeah, this is
Also, because it is in the interest of the state.
see the first is that too much time lapse. A lot of time is lapsed will make the cause of action stale. Cause of action पुराना हो जाता है, मतलब it becomes really stale. So when it becomes stale, it becomes difficult. Chances that the witness remember everything, obviously plaintiff को prove करना पड़ेगा ना. Chances that the witness remember all the happenings are less, are very less. And thirdly क्या होता है कि there is a chance of fabrication of evidence, because the cause of action is so stale and old कि easily fabricate हो सकता है. ठीक है? So इसलिए there is this quote which says that a legal dispute cannot remain alive forever. An aggrieved person, the aggrieved person का एक काम है कि he should approach the court as soon as possible. Fine. He should not make the other party anxious. Now see, defendant will always wait for him that he may file a suit today, he may file a suit. So he cannot remain anxious forever. So other party cannot remain anxious forever.
Sir, so I
Yes.
have a doubt.
Yes.
Sir, so all these reasons that the evidence might be fabricated or the witness does not remember everything, sir, all these reasons also apply to criminal cases also, sir. So why is Limitation Act then not applicable to criminal cases and only restricted to civil suits when all these reasons are also existing in criminal cases?
Do you have CRPC along with you? There is a part of limitation in CRPC also. So there is a separate part relating to limitation in CRPC. I suppose it starts from section 4. I believe it starts from section 463. 463. It starts from 463. So the act itself has an area or a part relating to limitation. That is the reason Limitation Act will not apply. No, it does not start from 463. It starts from 468. 468. It starts from 468. Correct.
It's 467, chapter
Yeah.
36.
Correct. Chapter 36. It starts from 467.
Limitation for taking
Or-
cognizance of certain.
467 to 473, I believe. Right? Am I right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Hmm.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You are right.
So this is the part. So that is the reason the act does not apply in criminal cases, but not in all aspects. For example, in criminal appeals, the act will apply. एक बार आप लोग किसी के पास है एक्ट स्केड्यूल में ओपन स्केड्यूल आर यू गाइस ऑन स्केड्यूल
Yes, sir.
open 114 entry number 114 or article 114. It says that appeal from acquittal. Fine. That is the reason Limitation Act applies to criminal appeal. But again, he has a valid point and he has a valid question. As a whole, Limitation Act does not apply to criminal proceedings. Even 467 to 473 is insufficient. As in, it only applies for cases less than 3 years. So अगर 3 years के ऊपर कोई offenses है, then Limitation Act or this part will not apply. Fine. Now, why? Why so? Because see, this is a crime against society. And in grievous cases, you do not want technicalities to let the accused go scot-free. Understood?
Yes, sir.
Did I confuse you guys? बहुत ही mix up कर दिया मैंने लगता है.
No, sir.
It's clear? Clear?
Yes.
Sir, just one more question, sir. Can we say that Limitation Act can be read pari materia to CRPC and other like criminal statutes?
You can say it can be read with pari materia with CRPC. You cannot say that it can be read pari materia with criminal statutes. I'm coming to that point. I'm coming to that point.
All
This
right.
is the only introduction. थोड़ा आगे जाएंगे तो I'll be covering all the aspects. Fine. So now that is the reason that you will have to reduce the anxiety of the opposite party, other party. You cannot allow him to remain anxious for all the time, for entire time. So you'll have to reduce his anxiousness. That is the reason you have been provided with limitation period. You have provided limitation period. Fine. Now, see, exclusion or exceptions क्या है basically. So I've already dealt कि जो exceptions हैं, these are basically exceptions to section 3. Section 3 says that you have to file a suit application within limitation period, but exception says that okay, fine, if the court is closed on the last date, so you can file on the other day, which has been provided in section 4. If you have sufficient cause, then okay, fine, you can even file after period of limitation, which has been provided in section 5. तो ऐसे बहुत सारे exceptions हैं. And second aspect is exclusion. Now this part is very important. See, there are two things in Limitation Act. One is POL, which is period of limitation. That is the period provided in the schedule. And the extended period after applying exclusion is known as prescribed period. मतलब POL plus exclusion is equals to prescribed period. Is this clear?
Yes,
Sir.
Yes.
Sir, but you said that exclusion can be for means any amount of time.
Yes, any amount of time. So even prescribed period can run for any amount of time.
Okay, sir.
See definition. Look at the definition. Open 2J. Open section 2J. Are you guys on section 2J? Hello?
Yes, sir.
I'll read. See, section 2J says that period of limitation means period of limitation prescribed for any suit, appeal, application by the schedule. So POL is the period that is provided in the schedule, right? And prescribed period means the period of limitation computed in accordance with the provisions of the Act. So it uses the word computed in accordance with the provisions of the Act. Now, what provisions? What provisions? That is the question. Now, open section 12. Are you guys on section 12?
Yes, sir.
Now, section 12 is a part of part 3. And what is the marginal note in part 3? The marginal note in part 3 is computation of period of limitation. Fine. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
So even, in fact, every section, say section 12, it proceeds with in computing the period of limitation. Say section 3, it proceeds with in computing the period of limitation prescribed. Say section 4, it proceeds with in computing the period of limitation prescribed. Clear? So that is the reason कि जो prescribed period है, that is period of limitation plus exclusion. The period that you have excluded. So for example, in this case, is this clear? Is this clear so far?
Yes, sir.
Sir, so I have a doubt. Sir, so
Yes.
when we say that period of limitation is like already given in the schedule, and this part 3 is like adding exclusion to it, so shouldn't this be named as computation of prescribed period instead of period of limitation?
Yeah. This makes sense. But you are actually computing the period of limitation within which you will have to file the suit.
Sir, but that's like generally speaking, you are saying then that we are computing the period of limitation, but when we follow the specific words of 2J, the period of limitation is like different, has a different meaning from the prescribed period. So shouldn't
No, it
it's
doesn't.
like-
It doesn't. If you read 2J, are you on 2J?
Yes, sir.
Read 2J. Prescribed period means the period of limitation. Fine. Computed
Yes, sir.
in accordance with the provisions. So period of limitation computed. So in fact, prescribed period itself is saying that I am period of limitation. So I am no different.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Understood? So that is the reason I understand the confusion, but don't go verbatim. Understand it like this. Understand it basically. It is period of prescribed period is period of limitation plus exclusion. Fine. Now, for instance, in this case, say the period of limitation for a contract is 3 years. And the case I told you that this fellow filed a suit in Gurgaon court. The Delhi court had the jurisdiction, and he was prosecuting in Gurgaon court for about say 3 more years. Fine. So this 3 years period will be extended, right? Right. Now, for example, the period of limitation starts from 1/10/2000, say 17. It ends with 1/10/2020. And since he has been prosecuting in a wrong court for 3 years, so this period will be 1/10/2023, right? Now, the question is, what is the period of limitation in this case? What is period of limitation?
Yes.
No. The period of limitation is, yes, it is 3 years, absolutely. When does the period of limitation ends in this case?
Sir, 1/10/2003.
Yeah, absolutely. And when does the prescribed period ends in this case?
1/10/2020.
23. 23, na? 3 years he has been prosecuted in the wrong court, and this period will be extended, na?
Yes, sir.
Prescribed period will be this. Is it clear? यहाँ पर कोई doubt है?
No, sir.
Wait. Yes. Okay. I'll explain this again. See, for instance, there is a suit for a contract, for enforcing a contract, specific performance of a contract. Ideally, the limitation period or the period of limitation for such a contract is 3 years. That is provided in schedule. Now, for example, the cause of action arises on, the period of limitation starts with 1/10, say 2017. Now, obviously, 3 years hai, so it will end around 1/10, 2020. Now, somewhere here, this fellow files a suit. He was supposed to file the suit in Delhi court, but he files the suit in wrong court. He files this suit in Gurgaon court. And in this Gurgaon court, he has been prosecuting in good faith for about 3 years. 3 साल तक वो गलत कोर्ट में prosecute कर रहा है. This court dismisses his suit here. Here somewhere this court dismisses it. And now he comes back to Delhi and he files the suit here. Fine. Now what will happen? That he will get this exclusion. The exclusion of prosecuting in good faith for 3 years. So he will get this exclusion and his period will be extended. Fine. Now, for instance, this is 110, so this will be 1/10/2023. Now I ask you, when does period of limitation ends? Period of limitation कब खत्म होता है?
1/10/2020.
Absolutely. And when does prescribed period end?
1/10/23.
Absolutely. That is the entire logic. Clear है?
Sir,
Yes, Priyanshi. Wait. Priyanshi has raised her hand. Yes, Priyanshi.
सर सो इन दिस केस जो आपने अभी एग्जांपल दिया उसपे पीरियड ऑफ लिमिटेशन के बाद हम एक्सक्लूजन पार्ट को ऐड करेंगे.
हाँ.
ओके सो सर बीच में मतलब फॉर एग्जांपल एक्सक्लूजन जितने भी टाइम का हुआ उतना टाइम हमें टोटल सम अप करके ऐड कर देना है पीरियड ऑफ लिमिटेशन में.
Absolutely. यही लॉजिक है. यही है.
ओके
Yes, Komal. Komal थी ना?
yes, sir.
Yes, Komal. Say.
That's the question only, sir. The extension will be granted after the
Period of-
wrong
after
filing.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
wrong. Yes, Simran.
So, sir, extended period is nothing but the prescribed period, you're saying?
Yes, extended period is the prescribed period. Extended period is equals to the prescribed period.
Okay, sir.
ठीक है?
Sir, I have a question.
Yes.
Sir, so let's say there are like two exclusion. One is exclusion about the wrong court and one is exclusion about the decree. So will I then at 3 years plus like 90 days or will I like subsume the 90 days in 3-year period?
No, it will add. Both of them will be added. ऐसे add करते जाएगा.
Okay, sir.
ठीक है? I'll proceed.
यस सर.
We'll cover this in great detail थोड़ा आगे भी, but ये मैं basics के लिए so that you guys are familiar with all the concepts. Yes, Monica.
Discussed right now. So I wanted to understand one thing. So जैसे कि the person files a suit in a wrong court and it is being proceeded with for 3 years. And this period of 3 years, it also includes a certain portion of time of the limitation. जैसे कि जो भी month था of the year 2020.
This period ना? This
जहाँ
period you
से
are saying.
उसने ये सूट फाइल करा है और हाँ जो ये वाला yes sir.
Yes.
So
yeah.
will this be excluded while?
Yes, this entire period will be excluded. पूरा entire period will be excluded. ये extend हो जाएगा. 3 years ही मिलेंगे उसे. कटेगा नहीं उसका. ऐसा नहीं कि this period was within period of limitation. नहीं, पूरा ही उसको exclude मिलेगा. The entire period. It won't do. The court won't bifurcate. और the court won't bifurcate कि ये period of limitation के अंदर था तो ये हम exclude नहीं करेंगे. पूरा ही extend हो जाएगा.
और सर उससे पहले का
ये वाला पीरियड यू आर सेइंग ना?
नहीं सर, इससे भी पहले का
ये वाला पीरियड व्हाई डू यू वांट टू एक्सटेंड? ये वाला पीरियड में तो आपने सूट फाइल ही नहीं किया ना
सर. ये वाला इंक्लूड होगा फॉर व्हेन वी कंप्यूट द पीरियड ऑफ प्रिस्क्राइब पीरियड. वो वाला कंप्यूट करेंगे. वो वाला सपोज 1/10/17 से पीरियड ऑफ लिमिटेशन स्टार्ट होना था. 1/10/2018 पे उसने क्या कहते हैं गुड़गांव कोर्ट में फाइल करा, जो कि क्या कहते हैं गलत जुरिस्डिक्शन है.
फाइन.
उसके बाद सर उसने 3 साल केस और लड़ा तो 1/10/2021 पे जाके उसको कहीं कहा कि क्या कहते हैं
डिसमिस हो गया.
हाँ, डिसमिस हो गया केस.
फाइन.
तो सर अब इस केस के अंदर हम 1000 ये जो 17 से लेके 18 तक का 1 साल है, इसको इंक्लूड करेंगे पीरियड ऑफ लिमिटेशन के अंदर या फिर
ये तो आपको मिल रहा है ना. Why do you want to? ये तो आपको पहले से ही मिल रहा है. Act is giving you this entire period. ये दे रहा है एक्ट आपको पीरियड. दिस इज देयर. फाइन. इसमें छेड़छाड़ नहीं होगी. what सेक्शन 14 और एक्सक्लूजन डज, एक्सक्लूजन ये पीरियड को एक्सटेंड कर देता है. क्लियर है? इसमें कुछ छेड़छाड़ नहीं होगी. ये तो आपको मिल ही रहा है ना. why do you want this period? ये तो this तो you are getting anyway ना. You had this.
ओके सर. तो इस वाले केस के अंदर पीरियड ऑफ लिमिटेशन मतलब कौन सी डेट होगी जिसके बाद क्या कहते हैं वो सूट फाइल नहीं कर पाएंगे इस पर्टिकुलर उसके.
अभी इसमें 110 to how much is the time? It is about 3 years, right? This is 3 years ना. This is 3 years ना. So it will be 110/2023. 3 years exclude हो गया ना, extend हो गया ना पीरियड. ये प्लस मिल गया आपको.
ओके सर.
क्लियर है?
ओके सर.
Any doubts?
Yes. So,
Yes.
so sir, basically this is like a safeguard, just so that justice prevails. But this can also be taken advantage of, right? That cases filed purposely
In the wrong court.
the wrong court.
Yeah, that is the reason they have used the word. When we reach there, I'll tell you. That is the reason that they have used the word bona fide and due diligence. So these two things you will have to ensure. You will have to prove. So you cannot just avail an exclusion. Ki, okay, fine. I filed the suit in wrong court. Therefore, please exclude so and so period. The court will say that whether you were bona fide while you were prosecuting, whether you exercised due diligence while you were prosecuting the case in wrong court. Is it clear?
Yes, sir. And also, like, say, suppose ऐसे कोई गलत सूट फाइल हो जाता है, isn't it the court's responsibility to like make sure or point it out that this case suit cannot be filed in this court and it should be filed in another court?
Yeah, it is absolutely. But in certain cases, the jurisdiction is so intertwined that it is not easy to to just make in comment as to this whether this court has a jurisdiction or not. That has to be proved or established, because there is this thing known as presumption of jurisdiction. We presume that a court in which you file the suit has the jurisdiction. It is presumed unless the other party rebuts it. So his rebuttal will have to be proved, right?
Okay, sir.
Okay, this is clear?
Yes, sir.
Now, guys, the entire act is based on this very maxim, which you must have studied in your college days, which is vigilantibus non dominitibus jura sub venit. What does this mean?
Sir, law protects only a person who is like vigilant enough to like go to the court for his own rights, something like that. I'm not sure.
Fine. No, you're right.
Precisely, law does not favors one who sleeps over their right.
Okay, it says that see, law assists whom? Who is vigilant, who is a vigilant person. Law will assist him, and not a person who sleeps over his right, sleeps upon his right. Fine. Upon his right. Clear?
Yes.
Now let us see what we will be covering in this 10 hours का session. ठीक है, अब ये मैंने intro करा दिया आपको. This is what Limitation Act is, and this is what we'll be dealing with. You know, what is the yes, I'll type it in the chat box. So you know what we are dealing with it and how cold the water is. I'll tell you what topics we'll be covering. First we'll be covering basics of Limitation Act. अब इसमें first I'll tell you the difference between prescribed period and limitation period, which we have आज काफी discussion हुआ उस पे, but we'll do it in a greater detail. Prescribed period or period of limitation. Fine. And इसमें there is this concept which who pointed out, who was this when I was writing restricting right, who was the one who pointed out?
Yes, sir. I was saying that are we
yeah.
restricting right?
The
or
second part,
enforce right?
yeah, second part will be covering bars remedy and not right. How Limitation Act bars remedy and not right. And then we'll be understanding the applicability of Limitation Act. Applicability may we'll see that whether it is retrospective or not, whether it is exhaustive or not, whether it applies to criminal proceedings or not, which a little discussion was done today, but आगे भी करेंगे, criminal proceedings or not. And then we'll do an analysis of section 13, section 3, which is the declaration, which prohibits any suit to be filed after the period of limitation. And we will read this section with section 13. अब जब section 13 we'll be discussing, so the issue is that section 13 अकेला ही नहीं पढ़ा जा सकता, you will have to refer to CPC. So for this we'll be referring to order 33 of CPC. What is order 33 of CPC? Anyone?
Sued by indigent person?
Absolutely. We'll be referring to order 33, and we'll also be referring to section 149, which relates to relating back of court fees. ठीक है, अगर किस्मत अच्छी हुई और टाइमिंग है, so we'll also refer to order 7 rule 11 B and C. What is order rule 7 order 7 rule 11?
Plaint.
Rejection of plaint.
Rejection.
हाँ, अगर किस्मत अच्छी हुई तो we'll a brief discussion इसके ऊपर करेंगे, and then we'll just touch and go. We won't get into details of it because I believe you must have covered it in CPC itself. ठीक है, फिर we'll get into section 4. Now section 4 basically है क्या? Section 4 says that if the court is closed on the last day of period of limitation, on the last day if the court is closed, then what to do? Then you will file on the next day. So basically इतना ही बोलता है. Fine. Then we'll understand section 5, and बहुत questions इससे आते हैं in all exams, which is condonation of delay. And इसमें I have 3 or 4 cases. We'll refer to them and then we'll get done with this topic. And then we'll go on to understand section 6 to 9. Section 6 to 9 basically provides for disability of the plaintiff if the plaintiff is disabled. Now Limitation Act is funny क्योंकि Limitation Act में disability does not mean the actual disability. Disability means if a person is a minor and he is insane or he is insolvent. No, sorry, he's insane or an idiot, not insolvent. He's minor, insane, or an idiot. Fine. These are the 3 disabilities that the Limitation Act recognizes: minor, insane, or idiot. Fine. Then we will understand section 10, which is Limitation Act in cases of suit against trustee. Suit against trustee. And then Limitation Act section 11, and this is an important section. This inculcates the principle of lex fori. What is lex fori? Do you guys lex loci. Do you guys know what is lex loci?
Law of the land.
Yeah, this section incorporates this provision, and section 11 says that suit for contracts entered outside the jurisdiction. So what will be the period of limitation in those cases? So with this we'll be done with say exceptions. ठीक है, यही exceptions है. Fine. And then coming to exclusions, exclusion may we'll be dealing with section 12 पहले. Now section 12 में there are two exclusion. The first day is excluded, and then the time required for obtaining the decree. Time required for obtaining decree. That will be excluded. And then we'll go for section 14. Now section 14 is wrong court. If a suit is filed in wrong court, then how much period will be excluded and what period will be excluded, that has been provided. And then comes section 21. Now, section 21 deals with joinder of plaintiff. Joinder of plaintiff कौन से order में है CRPC में?
Order 1.
Order 1 what?
Order 1.
Rule 10(2). In the cases of joinder of plaintiff, what will be the case? So we'll see कि suit एक new plaintiff जब आता है तो with respect to him, when does the suit starts to begin? So that will be answered by Order 1, Rule 10, Sub Rule 2, Clause 5 of Sub Rule 2, and also Section 21. So in दोनों की conflict में we'll understand what exactly is the conflict between them, and then we'll try to bring the harmony. And then जो बहुत ही interesting topic है, that is acknowledgement. Now acknowledgement, what is acknowledgement? See what happens if a person say there is a suit for recovery of money, and the period of which is the limitation period is 3 years, and within this period, on this day, say within the period of limitation, there is the defendant. He says that yes boss, I'll pay you in a while, or I have to pay you. He acknowledges the debt. Then the period of limitation refreshes and you will get 3 years more. Fine. That is the concept of acknowledgement which has been dealt with 18 to 20. ये clear है? ये समझा?
Yes, sir.
Sir, will it be presumed as a new promise?
No, it won't be a new promise. It will be the same cause of action. It will refresh. It won't be a new promise. It won't be a new promise.
Sir, this would be the same, right? Just how it is in the Contract Act.
No. You're talking about 25.
Yeah.
No. There's a difference between them and 25. I'll deal with the different later, but there's a lot of difference.
Okay, sir.
ठीक है. पहला difference ये है कि in 25 in 25(3) I believe, right? In 25(3), when you make a promise, you make after the debt has been time barred, after period of limitation. In this, you are making you are promising, or you are acknowledging the date within the period of limitation. Clear है?
Yes, sir.
We'll cover it in detail जब वहां पर पहुंचेंगे. And then कुछ auxiliary sections है, auxiliary exclusions, which we'll be dealing with section 15, 16 and 17. And last, which relates to certain principles or aspects of limitation, which calendar you should use, and when does the period of what is continuing wrong and what is non-continuing wrong, that have been provided in section 22, 23 and 24. Fine. Now, in all these cases, if the concept of Limitation Act is that a right is not barred, but a remedy is barred, right? You bar the remedy. You say that after period of limitation, this fellow will not be allowed to approach the court. Fine, that is the entire concept. Fine, that is the entire concept. But there are certain exceptions. Now, these exceptions are easementary provisions which have been provided in section 25, 26 and 27. In such cases, even the right extinguishes along with the remedy. Fine. So first we'll be dealing with section 25 and 26, which are easementary provisions. and then section 27, which relates to exclusion. Which relates to this extinguishment of right to file a suit for immovable property. Clear? This is the entire geography, and this is our agenda for upcoming lectures. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Any
Sir, I
doubts?
have one doubt.
Yes.
Sir, so this is regarding the prescribed period. Sir, so 2J says that prescribed period means the period of limitation computed in accordance with the provision of Act. Sir, so I understand that we are including exclusion from section 12 to section 24, where it's specifically the heading is stating computation of period of limitation. Sir, but when 2J also says that period of limitation, prescribed period is period of limitation computed in accordance with the provision of the Act, sir. So even section 4 to 11 are also like the provision of the Act, sir. So why are we not then also including exceptions in the computation of prescribed period?
You see, every section relating to 12 to 24 are prefixed with a word in computing the period of limitation. Fine. This is the first.
Yes, sir.
पहले interpretation से start करते हैं, then I'll tell you the logic. Every word you see in computing the period of limitation. In fact, the marginal note for part 3 says that computation of period of limitation, right? And now see marginal note of part 2, which is 4 to 11, right? What does it say? What does it say? Hello?
Sir, it says limitation of suits, appeal, and application.
Exactly. So that is not these are not the provisions which help in computing the period of limitation. These are only which provide exceptions. Fine. And even if when you study these provisions, you will understand that these provisions do not assist in computing, rather they are exceptions. For example, you could not file the suit within, you could not file an appeal, say within 90 days. Because on the last date, you met with an accident. Now what you will do, you will go to the court and you will file a section 5 application, which is a delay condonation application. You will say, "Ki sir, I met with an accident on the last day. So can you please allow me to file an appeal?" The court will say, "Okay, fine. For you, I will treat section 3. For you, I will allow the same because you have met with an accident, and that is the reason this section 5 is an exception."
Sir, so in this particular case, both the period of limitation and prescribed period are the same. That is this 90 days.
Yeah,
Right?
90 days, absolutely.
All right,
Absolutely.
sir. Understood.
Now, and one more thing. This, anyways, I'll be covering in next lecture. Guys, read section 3 ek bar. Are you guys on section 3?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Now it is prefixed with the word subject to the provisions contained in 4 to 24. Fine. So what section 3 is saying, see, I may be a declaration, but I am subject to this provision 4 to 24. अब 4 to 24 में से 4 to 11 are exceptions, and 4 to 20 and 12 to 24 are exclusions. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So in fact, the section 3 itself is saying that even though I am a declaration and I say that every suit you are filing after a period of limitation has suit, appeal, or application has to be dismissed, but I am subject to these provisions. ठीक है? Any doubts?
Sir,
Yes.
sir, you were saying that the period of limitation only exhausts the remedy and not the rights.
Yes.
Only extinguish the remedy and not the right. So,
Yes.
sir, when there is no recourse or remedy, Sir, right is anyway extinguished.
No, that is the thing ना. See, there are थोड़ा बता देता हूँ. नेक्स्ट लेक्चर में डिटेल में बताऊँ. थोड़ा एक बार एक टेस्ट दे देता हूँ. See, there are two kinds of rights. One is a perfect right, and the other is imperfect right. What happens in perfect right? You have a right. You also have a remedy. ठीक है? And there is this imperfect right, wherein you have a right, but you don't have a remedy to proceed. You may say that this right, imperfect right, is useless. I say no. Even though you don't have the remedy to proceed to court, but you can always take a defense with respect to this right. Understood?
Defense as in any subsequent suit or anywhere else.
Yeah, any subsequent suit. For instance, I'll give you an example. For instance, this fellow A, he is irritated with this fellow B. Now A has a house, this small house, and every time B approaches A's house, he says that this house is mine. He denies completely A's title. Now A, what does he do? He sleeps on his right, and the period of filing a suit for declaration is 3 years. Declaration का suit file करने का period of limitation is 3 years. He sleeps on his right. He's like, chuck it. I don't think he'll do anything against me, and fine. But one fine day, what does it do? What does B do? He keeps this what do you call? He starts to harass this fellow A, and he gets irritated. And somewhere here, after the period of limitation, he files a suit. Fine. Now this suit is dismissed by the court. Court says that you have filed the suit after the period of limitation. We cannot take it. So this suit is dismissed. Now, since this suit for declaration of title is dismissed, B gets very excited. B is like, great, his suit for declaration of title is dismissed, so I will sue him for possession. So B files a suit against A for possession. Possession on the basis of title. Now, when court says that, okay, show your title, A shows its agreement or documents of title. Now, his right is not barred, right? Only the remedy is barred. So A
Yes,
can
sir.
prove his title. So he can always take it as a defense. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Now understood? So this we'll be covering up
Uh,
in a great detail. हाँ बोलो. Yes.
yes, sir. I've understood so far.
That is it for today. Any doubts? Any more doubts?
No, sir.
That is it. We'll call it a
Yes, sir.
day.
Yes, sir.